Alright, welcome to Manga 101, and you're looking at a page, actually a couple of pages, of Paradise Kiss. This isn't really about this manga, but it's more of when and when not to use tone sheets. Okay, sometimes better it is when you're doing less, and sometimes it's best to do very little, to have, like, let's say, in the background. Alright, now look at these pages. Alright, of course, the vehicle here, of how it is. It's very realistic. That's actually quite good when you want to do things like that. Sometimes you want a freehand if you're good at drawing vehicles. If you're not, then just actually import pictures of actual cars, photographs and whatever, and edit them. Or tone sheets. Like with here, you have is several layers of different types of tone sheets that determine of the grayscales and stuff. Or you can also get ones that actually have multiple layers. So you want to do it to like city scenes, make it look like a city. And you can fade it out. Like here, it's kind of faded out. You can use, airbrush with white ink in it to do the fade outs. It works pretty well. Or you can use your hobby knife and scrape the tone off from the sheets when you stick it on. Alright. Sometimes, like in the background, to having like a city scene, it's quite hinders, because like in this section, you have this text. For here, it's always best to have the characters always highly detailed, visible, that you can understand. They look good. And then you have your text and your word bubbles. When you have a lot of that, to determine motion, you would have is like your speed lines and things like that, and blur lines. And sometimes you want to do very little. And then there's like just text with a black background and stuff like that. That works. And then you're wondering, like, why this one just has tone sheets for like the trees. Well, it's a lot easier, so you can determine that, hey, it's the shadows of the trees that are falling on the people and stuff like that. It gives the emphasis of it being in a an environment where there's trees. A lot of times that is the best. When you're doing indoor scenes, just kind of always have at least a few frames or whatever showing you the interior shots and exterior shots. So it gives a sense of that where these characters are in at the moment is actually a building of some sort, not just having, let's say, if you had all your pages with nothing more than like things you like swirls or flowers in the background. It becomes kind of annoying where it looks good, but the problem is, or even little bubbles, you don't know where the story takes place. You don't know that they're in a vehicle or it looks good, but when you have too much of this and no detail or information of where the people are, the story is lost. So always be in modernization of what you do. And it's always good, no matter what people say. I'll tell you this. Always have like some pictures, like frames like this. Just an interior or exterior shot that doesn't need text whatsoever. Text doesn't mean that is a must, but sometimes little is best. Just background shots, overall shots, even just shots that show the expression of the character in contemplation. Those quiet, awkward moments, the glances and stuff, and the stares. It doesn't really necessary to need text all the time to express their emotions, but sometimes you might need to. Other times, no. Like here, the expression of time lapse. they would have the clocks shown at one time, shown an image of what they are doing. The next is a clock again, but at a different time, and then the image is different from the first, up ahead. So you realize that the passage of time actually had happened. But even like, you know, just fan shots, or basically fan service, is when you have an image of a character in positions where it's just more of a glam shot than anything else. Fan service. And this one doesn't really have too much of what is considered fan service. You can consider this somewhat, but yeah. But it works with this. You know, sometimes even when you're expressing passion, words are not needed to be expressed. You know? Sometimes words are. And the hardest to always draw for a lot of people is the kiss. It is always the most difficult to draw for some people. Or embrace. I hope this has helped you. Until next time, ciao.